Hi, my name is Nalini Dorado, and this is my presentation on Edward Sheriff Curtis. In Mr. Curtis, we have both an artist and a trained observer, whose pictures are pictures, not merely photographs, whose work has far more than mere accuracy because it is truthful. Mr. Curtis, because of singular combination of qualities with which he has been blessed, and because of his extraordinary success in making and using his opportunities, has been able to do what no other man ever has done, what, as far as we can see, no other man could do. He is an artist who works out of doors and not in the closet. He has lived on intimate terms with many different tribes of the mountains and the plains. He knows them as they hunt, as they travel, as they go about their various avocations on the march and in the camp. He knows their medicine men and sorcerers, their chiefs and warriors, their young men and maidens. Edward Sheriff Curtis was born in 1868 near Whitewater, Wisconsin. At the age of 12, he built his first camera using a lens his father brought back from the Civil War. At the age of 19, Curtis bought his first camera. He began publishing his life's work in the early 1900s called The North American Indian, which documented the culture of the remaining native tribes west of the Mississippi River. He died in 1952 in LA at the age of 84 due to a heart attack in the home of his daughter Beth. He is buried at Forest Lawn Cemetery in Hollywood Hills. As far as his photographic career goes, at the age of 17 in 1885, he spent time as a young apprentice photographer in St. Paul, Minnesota. He bought and owned a photographic studio in Seattle, which later developed a reputation for portraits and landscapes. He met and photographed Princess Angeline, whose real name was Kikiksomo, the daughter of Chief South, which Seattle was named after. He rescued and met the anthropologists George Bird Grinnell, Clinton Hart Merriman, and Gifford Pinchot. He later accompanied Grinnell to the Piegan Reservation, which was the start of his many photographs for the North American Indian. Here we have one of his first photos called The Typical Apache, was taken in 1906. And then we have another young woman named Tenokai, also taken in 1906. Most of his photos are just photographs in brown ink. Here is another one of the Apaches crossing the ford, taken in 1903. And here we have the ceremonial costumes, ceremonial costumes. It's taken in 1906 as well, also brown ink. The Vanishing Race is actually one of his starting photos in the North American Indian. It was meant to show that the Indians as a race had shed their tribal strength and had been stripped of their primitive dress. They're passing into a darkness of an unknown future. And this photo was taken in 1904. Here we have a photo that Curtis took of Geronimo, who at the time was 76 years old, and this was taken before the inauguration of President Roosevelt. And here we have some costumes from the Cheyenne tribe, or a woman's dress. This was taken in 1927. And you have the Preparatory Lodge, where a lot of ceremonial occasions happened, or ceremonial practices happened. This is also taken in 1927. He took a picture of Chief Joseph, and Chief Joseph was a leader who led the movement against the whites from Idaho to northern Montana in the fight of Nez Perces in 1877. And this photo was later taken in 1903. Here we have just pictures of his expeditions throughout the lands. There's another one for the Sioux tribe, taken in 1908. This is another one of his famous photos called Wading in the Forest, and also about the Cheyenne tribe. It was taken in 1910. Here he describes that young men would wrap themselves in non-committal blankets and would stand in the shadows of trees, ready to steal a chance to meet with their sweethearts. And here we have the Lone Tree Lodge, taken in 1904. The Chief of the Desert, which is a symbol of not just an individual, but the characteristic of the members of the tribe, one who is disdainful, energetic, and self-reliant. The Three Chiefs is another one of his famous photographs taken in 1900. It is a photo of three proud leaders, and surrounding them is their primal areas of prairies with tall waving grasses and streams. It is a glimpse of the life on the verge of extinction. Curtis' significance in the world of photography is that he had established a passion for photography at a young age. He was only 12 when he had already taken interest in photo because of a lens he was given by his father. He dedicated his life to his collections of Native American photos, and he worked to preserve their religion and culture. Another one of his most significant points is that he had a 20-volume collection of over 40,000 of his photographs of Native Americans across the country, and he captured the very essence of the people, the religion, their emotions, the way of life, and he gave the world an insight to the race who had faded from history.